If this video found you, then you must resonate with one of these cards or all of them. I had a message the other day that I could not figure out how to interpret. It was very heavy and complicated, and now I feel more confident to be able to translate that message again. But I want to know who I'm reading for first. So you're someone who is capable of holding opposites, somebody who has surrendered to the divine, to source, to life. You're capable of nuance. Somebody who's unafraid to question everything. Someone who is capable of letting go things that no longer serve you, whether it's people or sentimental objects. I feel like you're capable of moving on and you're not afraid to start over. You're probably somebody who has struggled to fit in. You've realized that you're not for everyone. Maybe you don't have a lot of friends or a lot of people you can count on. And you feel strange. But your strangeness, your weirdness is your strength. And you're someone who if you don't have a lot of people that you can count on, then you've gone through many karmic relationships for most of your life. And not necessarily love relationships, but also platonic or karmic connections within your own family. Every connection that you've had with people have caused you to grow internally, emotionally. You felt like a lot of connections have forced you to learn something. It's always felt like a lesson to you. And you feel like you're just walking this world alone, right? So if any of that resonated with you, then this is your reading. So what does this particular collective need to know today? Okay, we'll start off with third eye chakra. The frequency of the third eye chakra, the indigo flower of life, supports our intuition and our inner knowing, our imagination, and our psychic powers. So you've been really focusing on trusting your intuition and your gifts, your imagination, developing your clairs. Purple might be very significant for you. You've been taking time for yourself to meditate, to pray, to ask for guidance. Cosmic flower. The frequency of cosmic flower activates our remembrance of the place we call home, the core from which we pour our magnificence out into the world. You're also learning to stay balanced, to stay aligned. You're learning how to come back to center whenever something tries to pull a reaction out of you or tries to destabilize you emotionally. You still find a way to quickly come back to center. Your heart and mind are aligned. You're trusting your intuition, and you're using your discernment. To make decisions in life now. Solar plexus chakra. The frequency of the solar plexus chakra, the yellow flower of life, supports our sense of self, our personal power, and our willpower, as well as our knowing of who we are and what our contribution is to the whole. So you've been feeling more yourself, more alive, more confident, more in your power. It seems like you have found what you're meant to do in this life. Purple and yellow might be significant. Flowers might be significant. Yoga, meditation. What's interesting is purple and yellow, those are complementary colors. They're opposites. You're learning to balance your logical side and your intuitive side. Your masculine energy that helps you create in the real world, and your feminine energy that's helping you create through the 5D, through your energy. Through your imagination, manifestation, and then you're using your masculine energy to bring that into reality. Which is allowing you to harness your own inner power and bloom. "999" might be significant. 6, 3, 9, 1 plus 8, 9. Yeah. So you're coming to close to a cycle closing. Let's see what else. You've gained wisdom, freedom. You've accomplished something. You've accomplished balancing this energy. Face your true north. You feel confident in yourself now. You're not worried about what other people think anymore. You're focused on yourself, on what you believe. You're doing your own thing. You're no longer dimming yourself or shrinking yourself for other people's comfort. That polarity is significant. Paradoxical energy. Maybe before you felt conflicted about having or holding this intuitive knowing and who you are. Maybe you were conflicted, you didn't know if that was actually you. And since other people thought you were weird, maybe you learn to suppress that side of yourself. But you're growing now, so you surrendered. You found peace and made peace with it. You've healed from other people's perceptions. Okay, tell me about this third eye chakra. Oh my gosh, too many cards. Let's try this again. Tell me about the third eye chakra. Okay, so what else does this particular collective need to know? Or can we expand any more on any of these cards? Seven of Wands. Yeah, this is courage, self-expression. You have that creative spark again. Your sense of knowing who you really are. You feel capable of expressing yourself again without shame. Letting yourself shine as bright as you feel like, regardless of how much space it takes up. Now, instead of you moving around everyone else, you're letting everyone else move around you. That's really powerful. Eight of Swords reversed. Seems like you're getting ready to come out of this sort of like cocoon phase. Yeah. And you might be worried about other people's perceptions. You're worried that the world may not be able to handle your change, your new self, the way you stand in your truth. how authentic you are, genuine, honest. It feels like you're hesitating coming out because you're bracing for like pushback. But the thing is that when you are yourself, you get to realize who is actually meant to be in your life. Right? Because swords means truth. Knowledge, change. And you don't have to be afraid of it, right? Because you have your own, you are capable of defending yourself now. You know how to wield your truth to protect yourself. But you also create your own reality. So if you think that other people are going to dislike you or hate you, then you're right, Like, everybody's carrying swords, right? But if you're constantly pulling out your sword, or you're just showing off that you have a weapon, it's not, it just creates more tension, unnecessary tension. And it makes everyone else be up on guard. But you realize this, right? Because that's why yours is horizontal. It's behind you. Because you know when to use it. Because you are capable of understanding extremes. You're capable of understanding that truth is not something everybody can handle, that it can hurt. But instead you're choosing to be yourself, to be vulnerable. In a world where we're constantly facing criticism and judgment, and people are quick to project, quick to insult, quick to hurt others, you're still choosing to exist as this delicate butterfly. right? But the thing is, when you come out of this sort of like hermit mode and you actually expand, you bloom, you start showing your wings, you open yourself up to the world, and instead of taking anything that other people say personally, you realize that they are just speaking their own truth. You start realizing who was actually there for you and who wasn't. Anything unaligned must go. So if there's anybody that is incapable of handling who you are now, then clearly they have to go, right? You wouldn't have something so sharp near a delicate butterfly. And now you're in this space of you've changed and you're ready to come out, but it feels like it's not even necessarily that you think the world is holding you down or holding you back. It's more yourself. You're the one who's doing that. But it's safe now. It's safe to expand. It's safe to shine bright, to take up space. You've worked so hard to be in this abundance mentality. It's okay to be different. You understand that. You're not for everyone. It's time for you to face your true north. It's time for you to be who you really are, who you're meant to be, to really live up to your potential. If you needed permission, this is it. You have the permission from divine, from source, from your higher self, from me, to be your true self. You no longer have to hide and worry about what people think. You don't have to do that anymore. You've done so much work. Let the world see it. Because you holding back is blocking your intuition. Like, this could be you. Look how majestic this tiger is. It makes me think of like the world is your oyster. But the more you keep holding back, the more you keep hiding your true self, the more you're blocking your intuition, you're blocking your gifts, right? That keeps you unbalanced. But as soon as you step into your light, into your power, into your authenticity, You're giving yourself this brand new opportunity. A real opportunity, a real chance at life, at living, a real chance of freedom. And it'll be a slow process, but well worth it, especially with this rainbow. Rainbows might be significant for you too. Maybe you felt like your entire life has just been very gray, very sad, very troublesome. But as you step into your own light, you'll bring more color into it. You're a very kind soul, very gentle. You feel deeply. I get the sense that you at some point used to be very innocent, and life forced you to grow up fast, or forced you to have this sort of tough exterior. But this new beginning is allowing you to come back to maybe your inner child, your true self, who you once were before the world hardened you, letting you explore and roam freely. And be curious of the world. That's beautiful. You've probably, if you felt like the world was so gloomy, so black and white, so extreme, and you felt like you're just so colorful and living in this like black and white world, right? How do you know that you haven't been the crayon, you haven't been the medium that brings color and life and joy and happiness into this world? This whole time you were trying to be an outline when really you were the crayon, you were the paint, you were the color that's meant to color inside the line or outside. You're meant to bring more life into this world. You get to create whatever you want in this world. How do I even explain this? all I keep thinking, all I keep seeing is like a coloring book, right? Like life has just been this coloring book. It's like a flat, two-dimensional, it's like the blueprint. You have all the resources. The only thing that this world needs is you. Hold on. Let me see if I just pull out a coloring book, maybe this will help. Maybe this will help me explain this, right? Do I have anything in here that's colored? No, of course not. Oh, I do. Okay. Great. This is perfect. This has been your life, right? This is all you've been experiencing up until this point. Like, it's great, it's beautiful, it's sweet, maybe at times. But it just, part of you feels like it just wasn't enough. And not that you're ungrateful, but it's just like, it hasn't lived up to, you're realizing it hasn't lived up to your like capacity. Because look at the difference. Like, a world, right, without color, it's just outlines. It's just like this blueprint. But the moment you add color to it, it just looks so much more lively. It's so alive. Look at that, we have butterflies again. Oh my gosh. You are what this world is missing. You help fill in the gaps. You help unify the world, bring life, color, more emotion into this world. Maybe people have been like incredibly, superficial, or people tend to just, I don't know, just be in, just living their life. Without direction, without really knowing what's going on, what they're doing. We're constantly distracted. Everything is convenient. We never take the scenic route. We used to, but not anymore. Because everything's convenient. We have everything on our phone. We can just order anything that's missing. We don't have to go out sometimes. Or you don't even know what's around you anymore because you just take a car and you just drive to wherever you need to go. And you never stumble into any small businesses. Right? We also don't explore the internet anymore like we used to, right? Because now we are kind of contained within specific platforms, right, on social media. But you're different because you have started following these little glimpses, these little steps of, or little like crumbs of color. And that's far more interesting, right, than something beautiful but it's not colorful, it's not meaningful. Right, because like look at this teddy bear, he's looking down and he's following the grass, right? He's happy. Meanwhile, he's got these beautiful butterflies flying above him, but he's not even looking at those butterflies. He's looking down, right? And it's like you followed these little crumbs, these little sparks, these little pieces of joy that you come across, these little threads. You've been just so curious because it feels different, it looks different, it feels more meaningful to you. And that this was just the initiation, this was you following your intuition. And it's leading you to finally rediscover this, to rediscover a life that's more alive, more joyful, happier, more profound. Like this is kind of like that sort of like naive energy, like very innocent energy, childlike energy. And as you go through that process of self-discovery and inner knowing, you gain your sense of self back. And you're able to, instead of following a path, you finally realize that you can live, you can be here, like you can live that life. That the present moment is enough. You can create that happiness for yourself right now. You don't need to look elsewhere. You don't need to look elsewhere. You don't need to try and look for happiness outside of yourself, because it's right here, it's right now, it's in the present. You have that power within you. Right? Because like these characters, they're not following a path anymore. They're dancing and celebrating in place, and they're filling the world with their joy, their color. Because look, we've got these butterflies that are colored in and these that aren't. But this is not something that happens overnight or instantly. This is something that takes time to develop, to unravel, to become, to be. But once you realize this, which you already do, right? Because this reading is clearly for you. It means you're at a point in this journey now that you are capable of spreading your knowledge, your joy, your color out into the world. That's why you're meant to finally start expressing yourself. You move at the beat of your own drum. And that's what helps, that frequency of your own drum. That frequency is what gives life to others. That's you becoming a role model, a leader. That's you showing a new blueprint for others, instead of trying to teach people how to follow this path to get here. You're helping people see or you're helping people take a sort of shortcut, because you don't want other people to go through what you've gone through. You don't want people to suffer. And a lot of people are afraid to take that risk of just taking a step forward into the unknown, because the unknown can be really scary. But you are the destination. You are showing people that if they follow this path into the unknown, into rediscovering themselves, into questioning everything, into letting go of things that don't serve them any longer, of being able to transform and change and not be afraid of change, that they too could experience this, that they too could reach what you've become. So it's not necessarily a shortcut, but more that you're revealing to people who they can be. You're showing people their potential. And that's why you're meant to take up so much space. That's why you're supposed to expand. Because you're meant to show people who they can really be in this world. That you can be happy. It's not easy. But everybody is capable of doing it. It's not restricted. It's not. This is accessible to everybody. Happiness is accessible to everybody. Happiness is radical. It's the most radical. It's the most. Oh my gosh, nobody wants me to say this right now. The amount of stuttering that's going on in this video. happiness, joy, balance, peace, love. Those are all acts of rebellion, especially in this current world that we live in, especially in this day and age. Being happy is not easy. It is so difficult. You all know how true that is. But it also isn't distant from you. It is not outside of you. Happiness is a mindset. It's a way of living. It's a way of shining bright and shining light on the shadows of others. That's why it can feel so scary to want to be yourself, because people are so quick to judge because they get triggered. A lot of people don't, unhealed people, I should say, dislike seeing someone happy because they get jealous. Because if you're happy and they're not happy, a lot of times our instinct is to try and bring somebody down, drag somebody down to our level, instead of forcing ourselves to rise up to meet them in that energy. Because rising up requires effort. Rising up requires energy. It requires, it's an active action or active form of being. And in a world where it's convenient, where we value convenience over anything, effort just feels like a lot. And it's so much easier, right? Because convenience is supposed to make life easier. It's easier to just drag somebody back down to our level because you don't have to do any work. You don't have to face your own shadows. You don't have to face your truth. You don't have to work on yourself. Because you know how hard it is to be happy? It's not easy. It's not easy. Seeing anybody that is happy right now, you should feel happy for them. Because it's not easy. So you're meant to bring color into this world, okay? Thank you for sitting with me. I hope hope this resonated with you. I'll see you in the next one. Take care.